There are woods in England people won't talk about, places where silence has weight and the trees seem to listen. Gladwish Wood, tucked between small forgotten villages in East Sussex, is one of them. If you were to drive past it on an ordinary day, it might look just like any other stretch of forest, peaceful, quiet. But locals know better. They don't walk their dogs there. They don't go hiking. And when the fog rolls in, they draw their curtains and turn up the volume on their TVs. The story begins on October 19th, 1982, when a 15-year-old girl named Sarah Whitcombe vanished. She had just left her youth theater rehearsal and was taking her usual shortcut home through the edge of Gladwish Wood. It was only a 15-minute walk. She never made it. Her parents called the police that night. Within hours, volunteers joined the search, combing the trails, the stream, the brambles. Nothing. No body. No signs of struggle. Just nothing. One hunter claimed he'd seen a pale girl in white near the old stone path deep in the forest, standing motionless under the arching oaks. The police dismissed it as a hallucination. Stress. But for many, it was the first whisper of something not right in the wood. The whispers grew louder a year later when a young couple camped near the forest on a weekend getaway. Around 2 a.m., they were woken by the sound of crying, a girl's voice calling out, "Help me, please." Thinking it was a prank or someone hurt, they followed the voice with flashlights. It led them to a large, ancient-looking oak tree split down the middle as if by lightning. At its base lay a small circle of stones charred at the edges, and inside the circle, a tiny dirt-covered ballet shoe. Sarah had been wearing ballet shoes the night she vanished. The couple reported it to the police. The item was collected and logged, but without a body, the case remained cold. Over the years, stories about Gladwish Wood grew darker. People started referring to the area around the tree as the Whispering Circle. Kids dared each other to go there at night. Most refused, and those who did often came back pale, saying they'd seen figures between the trees or heard whispers in voices not their own. In the late 1980s, a new rumor emerged. It wasn't just about ghosts. It was about a cult, a secretive pagan group known as the Children of the Hollow Root. According to archived clippings from the 1960s and 70s, they had been active around East Sussex, known for performing rituals in the woods on solstices and equinoxes. Animal bones had been found, strange carvings in trees, and in one case, a farm cat pinned to a tree in the shape of a pentagram. In 1974, a group of robed individuals was arrested trespassing near a burial mound close to Gladwish Wood. They were questioned and released, the incident brushed under the rug. Some began to wonder, had Sarah Whitcombe stumbled onto one of these rituals that night? Had she been offered to something? In 2001, nearly 2 decades after Sarah's disappearance, a group of university students researching paranormal legends visited Gladwish Wood for a student documentary project. One of them, Amy Knowles, brought a thermal imaging camera to capture any anomalies. They didn't expect much, but when scanning the area near the Whispering Circle, the camera picked up an odd heat signature beneath a collapsed badger den. Curious, they dug gently, and to their horror, unearthed fragments of human bone, strands of long brown hair, and 2 ballet shoes still stained with age. DNA testing confirmed it. The remains were Sarah Whitcombe, but there was no clear cause of death, no weapon, no trauma, just a teenage girl's body buried shallowly beneath roots and dirt, surrounded by old bones, decayed bird feathers, and symbols carved into nearby stones. Investigators were baffled. They combed the area for further evidence, but nothing solid turned up. The forest, it seemed, wanted to keep its secrets buried. Then came the tape. In 2005, a cassette was anonymously dropped off at a local used bookstore in Lewis. The handwritten label read simply Gladwish, Night of Offering. The recording lasted 47 minutes. Experts say it had likely been made in the early 1980s. On the tape, low, eerie chanting in a language no one could clearly identify. Then, faint crying. A girl's voice, almost certainly Sarah's, sobbing softly. Toward the end, the sounds shift. A digging noise. Something scraping. Then a loud, guttural voice screaming something unintelligible. The audio cuts out. The police never released the tape publicly. They claimed it had no legal evidentiary value. But shortly after, the bookstore closed and the owner disappeared from public life. By now, Gladwish Wood had become a local legend. Paranormal investigators visited, psychics held seances, and amateur ghost hunters filmed YouTube videos in the dead of night. One such investigator, a medium named Claire Dyson, famously collapsed mid-session at the Whispering Circle, muttering, "She's not gone. She's trapped. They never let her leave." Even today, people who dare enter the woods report disturbing experiences. A hiker described seeing a girl standing barefoot in the fog, pale, hair dripping as if wet, with no eyes. Another man claimed he saw movement in the trees, figures with antlers on their heads watching from a distance. And every now and then someone reports hearing that same cry for help, always near the split oak. To this day, no arrests have been made in Sarah's case. The cult, if it ever truly existed, left no paper trail. But the symbols are still there. The circle still stands. And when the sun sets over Gladwish Wood, the wind doesn't just rustle leaves, it whispers. So was Sarah Whitcombe the victim of a human sacrifice? Or something older? Something darker that has always lived in the woods? That answer may never come. Because Gladwish Wood isn't just haunted by a girl. It's haunted by what we refuse to see and what still waits beneath the trees.